Welcome back to Living Higher. With Pesach behind us and we're back to the daily grind, there's an idea that I wanted to share, that a lesson that we could learn from Krias, which I believe could help carry us through the rest of the year. So there's a couple of interesting things that we find by Krias that Chazal call Krias. They use a lashon of kasha, like it was difficult. We say kasha zivugan ke Krias shiduchim is hard, like Krias, and we say kasha mizaynaysa shel adam Krias. A person's parnasa, a person's sustenance is difficult, like Krias. And the question that many of the Mefarshim, many of the commentaries ask, what does it mean that it's difficult, the shidduchim are difficult, or that a person's parnasa is difficult, if for Hashem, there's no such thing as anything being difficult. Everything is equally easy or difficult for Hashem to do. Hashem could do anything. Hashem, the Rebbeinu Shalom, is the Kol Yachol. There's nothing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not able to do. So what does it mean that it's difficult? So the Nesiv Shalom, on his Kuntris on Pesach, he asks a very similar question. He says that on Pesach, it says HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out b'chayzik yad, with a strong hand. And the Nesiv Shalom asks, what does it mean that Hashem took us out with a strong hand? What does a strong hand mean for the Rebbeinu Shalom? Everything is easy for the Rebbeinu Shalom to do. It's not like it was more difficult for the Rebbeinu Shalom to do this than to do something else. Like, it's more difficult to take us out of Mitzrayim than to keep the world running. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Kol Yachol. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do anything. What does it mean that Hashem took us out with a strong hand? So the Nesiv Shalom explains that when it says Hashem took us out with a strong hand, it doesn't mean that for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem needed a strong hand to take us out of Mitzrayim. What it means is, explains the Nesiv Shalom, it's klape the makabel. The one, not the one that's doing the action, but the one that's receiving the action. The receiver is us, the Bnei Yisrael. That we needed that strong hand. He brings down the Arizal, who explains that growth usually happens incrementally. Yet that is not what happened by Yetzias Mitzrayim. We went from the 49th level of Tumah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu kind of plucks us right out of there, straight up to the top. A week later at our Sinai, 7 weeks later at our Sinai, 0 to 60, just like that. From a human perspective, from our perspective, that's impossible. It's impossible. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do anything. Ki b'chayzik yad, that's going to us. We needed that strong hand because this is something that's beyond our limited human capabilities. We need that extremely strong hand, that extreme strength to take us out of that low situation where we were and to bring us up to the tippity top without going incrementally, jumping us straight up to the top. We needed that chayzik yad for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do anything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't need any more strength than for anything else. It's klapi the makabel, it's the receiver, it's us. We needed a strong hand. And then the Nesiv Shalom throws out, and this is also what it means. He puts it as an aside. This is also what it means when it says kashin zivugan shel adam Krias Yamsuf or kashin mizaynaysa shel adam Krias Yamsuf, that it's difficult the shidduchim of a person like Krias Yamsuf, or that it's difficult the parnasa, a person's livelihood, like Krias Yamsuf. So I was thinking, what does that mean? What does that mean? How can we take the same idea that it's difficult for the makabel, his shidduchim, or his parnasa, like Krias Yamsuf? So I was thinking that very often, let's just talk about shidduchim for a second, right? Very often, when there's nothing on the table, it could seem extremely depressing. It doesn't seem like there's anything on the horizon. When there's something on the horizon, a name came up, we're doing the research, or we got a yes, we're dating, it may look promising. We may see the light at the end of the tunnel, but when there's nothing on the table, when there's no name, when we're just sitting at home waiting for a suggestion, waiting for the phone to ring, hoping to meet somebody, it could seem very, very bleak. Same thing with Parnasa. Very often we think like, yeah, if there's a deal in the works, I have a promotion coming up, I'm working on something, there's a sale, there's something happening, okay, maybe this is where I'll be successful and come up. When there's nothing on the table, when it's after Pesach, we're going back, right back to where we were before Pesach, and there's nothing on the table, we go like, okay, even if something happens, it's going to happen incrementally. Maybe I'll make an extra dollar here, I'll make an extra dollar here, something will come up. But we don't see ourselves getting to where we need to get to tomorrow. We don't see in Shidduch, we don't see ourselves having that idea come up when there's nothing on the table that tomorrow everything's going to be rocking and rolling. We don't see ourselves rocking and rolling in Parnasa by tomorrow. we feel like it's got to be incrementally. Something's got to come on the table, and then that has to work out, then the next deal has to come through, the next idea has to come through, the next suggestion, whatever it is, and it's got to happen stage by stage by stage. I think the idea that we have to take out of Krias Yamsov is that no, all these difficulties, all the difficulties that we need that strength to get us out of a situation, all these things that we perceive as so difficult, that's on us. That's from our human perspective. For HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do anything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could take us from 0 to 60. Nothing on the table to everything on the table like that. And that is the lesson that I think that we have to take out of Krias Yamsov to carry us through the whole year. That we just came through a Zman of Geula, a Zman of redemption. And while we might not feel any different a couple of days after Pesach than we felt a couple of days before Pesach, the same dim prospects, the same bleak outlook, but something has happened. And this has to really click for us to realize that just like when HaKadosh Baruch Hu said it's time for the Yidden to come out of Mitzrayim, and we needed that Chayzik Yad, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was able to jump us up straight out of the 49th level of Tumah to where we need to get to. That could happen in our Parnasa as well. That could happen with Shidduchim or whatever else it is that we need. Even if it doesn't appear like there's anything on the table right now, and it appears that we need super strength to get to where we need to get to. We only see ourselves climbing in increments. We only see the growth incrementally. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is beyond that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's strength is beyond our comprehension. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu could take us from where we are to where we need to get to. Let's try to live a little higher, incorporate that into our daily living. We go out to work, when we go out on our day-to-day, to think, okay, I am not limited. To think unlimited perspective, unlimited belief, a godly belief.